coronary heart disease, clogged arteries, and atherosclerosis. Did you know that just one small plaque rupture inside an artery can trigger a blood clot that blocks blood flow within minutes, causing your heart or brain to shut down instantly? Frightening, isn't it? But this is not some distant possibility. It's the reality happening every day to millions of older adults across the United States. So why does such a deadly process take place silently inside our own bodies without us realizing it? Your arteries are like highways, carrying oxygen-rich blood to every cell in your body. But over time, fatty plaques and cholesterol build up like mud and debris, gradually narrowing the roadway. Can you imagine waking up one day to find the street outside your house completely jammed with cars, with no way through? That's exactly what happens inside your arteries with atherosclerosis. And when blood flow to the heart or brain is blocked, the result is a heart attack or a stroke, the two leading silent killers today. Are you starting to worry that you might also be at risk of falling into that same trap? In truth, the culprits are no strangers. High cholesterol, high blood pressure, smoking, these are all familiar causes. You may have heard your doctor mention them before, but have you ever asked yourself, could my small daily habits be silently destroying my arteries? Each greasy meal, each cigarette, each sleepless night of stress is like adding another brick to a wall that eventually blocks your blood flow. And when that wall finally collapses, it could do so without warning. Can you be certain your body is still strong enough to withstand that attack? Even more frightening, atherosclerosis doesn't cause immediate pain. It progresses quietly, silently, until one day the very first symptom is a catastrophic heart attack or a disabling stroke that robs you of the ability to walk, speak, or even live. So how can you know whether your arteries are still healthy or whether they're being silently destroyed right now? Before I reveal the early warning signs and the most effective ways to prevent this, I want to invite you to stay connected with this channel. Hit the subscribe button and press like right now, because throughout this video, I'll be sharing the latest medical knowledge explained in the simplest way, just like a doctor sitting across from you talking face to face. If you find this helpful, type the number 1 in the comments. If you feel it's not necessary yet, type 0 so I'll know. What do you think? Could a single click today be the first step to protecting your heart and brain?
And now, are you curious to know why some people over 60 may look perfectly healthy on the outside, while inside their arteries are like ticking time bombs? Have you ever wondered why, at the age of 60, one person can still walk briskly, laugh, and play with grandchildren, while another is frequently hospitalized for heart problems? The secret lies in familiar factors we often overlook. First, let's talk about high cholesterol. Imagine cholesterol as grease building up inside a water pipe that hasn't been cleaned for years. At first, it's just a thin layer, hardly noticeable. But over time, it thickens, narrowing the pipe and weakening the water flow. Our arteries work the same way. The more bad cholesterol builds up, the harder it is for blood to circulate. And think about it. If blood can't reach the heart or brain in time, what do you think the consequences will be? Another silent culprit is high blood pressure. Picture this. If you turn on a water hose at maximum pressure every single day, won't the pipe eventually crack? Our arteries endure the same strain. High blood pressure wears down the artery walls, creating tiny scratches where cholesterol can easily stick. Bit by bit, plaque builds up, grows larger, and one day becomes a dangerous blockage. Do you know what your blood pressure is today? And then there's a familiar yet ruthless enemy, smoking. Each puff sends hundreds of toxic chemicals directly against the artery walls. These toxins damage the protective inner lining of blood vessels, making them weaker, more inflamed, and more prone to plaque buildup. Maybe you've known someone who smoked for years and still seemed healthy, but can you really be sure their heart is truly strong, or is it silently hiding a ticking time bomb? To help you picture this more clearly, let me tell you about Mary, a 67-year-old woman from Florida. She was a retired elementary school teacher, loved children, and often played with her grandkids over FaceTime. But years of eating greasy foods and not exercising had pushed her cholesterol levels high. Her doctor had warned her many times, but she thought, I still walk around fine, so I must be okay. One morning, while making coffee, she suddenly felt crushing chest pain with sweat pouring down like a waterfall. Just minutes later, she collapsed. It was a heart attack. Thankfully, she was rushed to the hospital in time, but from that day on, her life was never the same. Do you want to wait until such a terrifying moment before you start caring about your heart health? Mary's story is not rare. Every day, thousands of people over 60 go through the same ordeal. They don't realize their arteries are being destroyed little by little until it's too late. The most frightening part isn't just the sudden heart attack or stroke. It's that it can strip away independence, turning a healthy, active person into someone dependent on others in just a few minutes. So, is there a way to detect this early and prevent such a tragedy?
The mechanism: plaque rupture, blood clot, heart attack, and stroke. Do you think a plaque inside your artery is just a blockage that makes blood flow harder? The truth is far more dangerous. When plaques become brittle and rupture, they act like tiny bombs exploding inside the vessel wall. Just one fragment breaking loose triggers the body to respond by forming a blood clot to patch the injury. It may sound protective, but in reality, that clot completely blocks blood flow. And when blood can no longer reach the heart or brain, the result is a heart attack or a stroke. Can you imagine a heart beating steadily 1 minute, stopping completely just a few minutes later? Think of it this way. You're driving across a bridge, and suddenly a truck tips over and blocks the entire road. All the cars behind pile up, trapped, unable to move forward. That's exactly what happens in your arteries. The blood is blocked by a truck, the clot. And within minutes, the organs beyond it, your heart or your brain, begin to die from lack of oxygen. Can you imagine yourself or a loved one suddenly collapsing at the dinner table because of an invisible truck inside your blood vessels? When a clot blocks the coronary artery that supplies the heart, the result is a heart attack. The patient feels crushing chest pain, like a heavy stone pressing down, accompanied by sweat pouring out and rapid, shallow breaths. Many never make it to the hospital, passing away within just 1 hour. If the clot lodges in the brain's artery, the result is a stroke. One side of the body suddenly weakens, the mouth droops, speech becomes slurred, or consciousness is lost altogether. And do you know what the most devastating part is? Even if they survive, many are left disabled, unable to walk, talk, or care for themselves, requiring lifelong assistance. Isn't it terrifying to think that in just a few minutes, a healthy life can turn into one of permanent dependence? I remember another patient, John, 72, from Texas. He loved playing dominoes with his friends every afternoon. One day, while in the middle of a game, he suddenly dropped a tile. His speech became slurred, and he couldn't form words. His friends thought he was just tired, but a few minutes later, he collapsed. It was a stroke. He was treated in time, but from that day on, one of his hands never regained full function, and every time he wanted to speak, it took him a long time to get his words out. Do you think you'll be lucky enough never to face what John went through? So, is there a way to prevent blood clots from forming, or at least slow down the process of atherosclerosis? Are there early warning signs that, if recognized, could save you before it's too late?
Simple, everyday habits to protect your arteries. What I've shared may sound frightening, but here's the good news. Not everything is beyond your control. In fact, you can slow down or even partially reverse the progression of atherosclerosis with very small changes in your daily life. The question is, are you ready to start today? First, let's begin with diet. Many studies show that people who eat plenty of vegetables, fruits, whole grains, and fish have a significantly lower risk of heart attacks and strokes. Every meal you eat is like medicine. It's either healing medicine or poison. Will you choose to fill your plate with colorful vegetables or with greasy food and red meat? Next, make room for gentle daily activity. No one is asking you to run a marathon or lift heavy weights. Just 30 minutes of brisk walking, light yoga, or slow cycling can soothe your arteries and keep them more flexible. I often tell my patients, every step you take today is like laying down a brick to build a strong bridge for healthy blood flow tomorrow. Do you think you could spare half an hour a day in exchange for many more healthy years with your grandchildren? Another crucial factor is keeping blood pressure and cholesterol under control. Regular checkups are essential because these conditions often have no obvious symptoms. They're like alarm clocks, letting you know where you are on the journey of preventing heart disease. Do you remember the last time you checked your blood pressure? And if you're still smoking, here's my heartfelt advice. Think about the day you could be playing with your grandchildren without coughing or struggling to breathe. Quitting smoking isn't just something you do for yourself. It's a gift of health you give to your family. Don't you think the smile of a grandchild is reason enough to put down that cigarette today? These changes may seem small, but they form a powerful shield that protects your arteries. And the most important truth is this: the sooner you start, the greater the benefit. So why wait until a heart attack or stroke comes knocking before you act? So, what do we need to remember in order to turn fear into motivation and worry into hope? You see, atherosclerosis is not a death sentence written in advance. It's more like a road where you can choose to slow down or even take a different path if you're willing to make changes today. Just a few simple steps: eating healthier, staying active, quitting smoking, monitoring blood pressure and cholesterol can give your heart and brain the chance to live longer and stronger. Do you realize that you hold the key to your own health? I want you to picture this. One morning, you wake up, take a deep breath, feel your heart beating steadily, step outside for a walk with your spouse, and call your grandchild to wish them a happy school day. No more fear of suddenly collapsing. Instead, you live each day with peace of mind and fulfillment. Isn't that the future you want for yourself?
What matters most is not how old you are, but how you choose to care for your health today. Aging does not have to mean illness. In fact, it can be the most beautiful time of your life if you keep your heart strong, your mind sharp, and your spirit full of energy. Are you ready to make your 60s, 70s, and 80s the most vibrant years of your life? If your answer is yes, then right now I invite you to hit subscribe, click like, and share this video with your friends and loved ones. Because who knows, this very information might save the life of someone you care about. And don't forget to leave a comment. Type 1 if you're ready to make changes for your health, or 0 if you're still unsure. I want to hear your voice. Because you know what? Heart health is not just about you. It's a priceless gift you give to your entire family. So when will you start?